The spawn is over. Summer's not here yet. These fish are everywhere. What are you gonna do to catch fish? Stick around, I'll show you my top 3 ways to catch fish between the spawn and the nasty summer heat gets here. Let's go fishing. Okay guys, it's the end of April. You got May and June coming. Your bite you've been fishing for the last 3 months is gone. Spawn is over. We're not quite in the heat of the summer yet, but you got to find some fish. Say your morning bite is over and you had a nice topwater bite, you had something going on first thing in the morning, it's 10 o'clock, the bite is slowed down. Now what do? Well, here's what I do first. I'm gonna get a chatterbait and in a bluegill color, and I'm gonna put a trailer on it that's gonna allow it to swim pretty fast, and I'm gonna find a hydrilla flat somewhere. Now this one's in Hatch, but they're in Toho. Cypress is nothing but hydrilla, and then in North Cove you can find some pretty good hydrilla flats. What I'm doing is in this sparse hydrilla I have here is I'm swimming this very fast, pretty close to the surface. We're only in about 4 feet of water right now. There's hydrilla mix all over the place. It's just starting to come back from where they sprayed it a few months ago. But this is noisy. It looks like a bluegill. And if you fish it fast over the top of the hydrilla, you're gonna get bit. This is how I find pods of fish. Now, once I get bit, I'm gonna slow down and use one of the other techniques I'm about to show you. But this is how you start. Let's get going. Well, we give this 30 minutes. We're in perfect conditions. Then we're in 5 feet of water. We got hydrilla about 2 feet from the surface in spots, and then scattered open holes. We got a light wind blowing, so this chatterbait or even a jerkbait should work to draw some fish up, but we're just not in the right spot. So now that you've got that clock ticking in your head, say it's 10:30-ish, you're thinking about how many hours you got to weigh in. You don't have enough weight in the box to do any good. So let's go try something else. I'll show you my second favorite way to catch fish in this weird time of the year. Okay, spot number 2, technique number 2. From now until November, we're gonna have moving water across this chain. They're gonna hold it low. As soon as those rains start, we will actually have pretty good current running through the main river channels, coming across Toho, coming across the shell bars in Kissimmee, Hatch. Anywhere you can find any moving water, this time of day, I'm going to downsize. And this is an 1/8 ounce bullet weight on a 3/0 light wire hook and just your basic black grape trick worm. Now, how I fish it is what's different. Well, it's different for me at least, is that I've got it on a medium rod with 40-pound braid, and I'm not casting to the bank and pulling it off, or I'm casting and letting it bounce down the channel with the current. This is a great way to pick up good fish during the middle of the day. Technique number 2.
Yeah.
Well, that didn't work. So now we're gonna try spot number 3, technique number 3. Now, yes, it's flipping, but it's not breaking out the big broomstick in 1.5 ounces. This is a 1/2 ounce bullet weight tungsten with a creature bait, 4/0 super line hook. And what I'm doing is I'm pitching into the edges of the vegetation that are near current, because these fish are around the current somewhere. This moving water is gonna keep them active. They weren't out on the edges in the big channels that I could get to with the trick worm. So now I'm just oop, there's some bait. I'm just gonna be pitching this creature bait every 5 feet or so down these sparse lily pads and hyacinth and scattered cattails. But I'm only gonna give it 30 minutes. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, well that didn't work. So you're saying to yourself, now what, Mr. Smarty Pants? Well, in my opinion, here's where the average amateur tournament angler makes a mistake. Is they're gonna put their head down and they're gonna grind with this flipping stick. Now I'm not saying you can't catch fish that way. I just don't think it's the best way to catch fish. What I do is I repeat what I've just done in the last hour and a half. I mean, if I saw something good about one of the spots I was at, like the spot I just left, there was a lot of bait moving around. It's the only place I saw bait. What I would probably do right now is go back and repeat my 3 techniques, and maybe not exactly the same location, but I'm not gonna run far. I've spent in the last hour probably 8 minutes on the big motor. That's the great thing about the Kissimmee Chain is you can find all this stuff if you just look. So what do I do now? I'm gonna go back to flat, and I'm just gonna expand my search. And then I'm gonna find another channel that I think is gonna have a little current in it. Today we didn't have much current. If that doesn't work, I'm going to another line that I know I can flip quickly that should have some bait in it. If I see bait, I'll stay. If like this place I just flipped, had a lot of bait, I'll probably come back. But don't put your head down. You got plenty of time still. It's only 11 o'clock. You make the same type run again of 3 spots, 3 techniques, and it's still only 12:30. What most people don't realize, even though you've experienced it, is this lake changes hour to hour sometimes. So the spot you were at an hour and a half ago with a chatterbait and they weren't biting, if you go back to that or a similar spot, they may be turned on and you catch 5 good fish in 10 minutes. Was it worth it running around a little bit? Yes. So anyway, those are my 3 favorite techniques for this off time of fishing between the spawn and the heat of the summer. So you're gonna start with chatterbait or something moving. You can use a jerk bait if you find some fish, or if you have more of a sparse area of hydrilla or some other submerged grass. You go from that to a downsized worm and a very slow presentation if you can find some moving water. And if that doesn't work, all else fails, get the flipping stick. But you're not beating the heavy stuff yet. These fish are out on the edges. They're not buried up yet. The water temps aren't horrible. It's only 82 degrees. So stay on the outside edges when you're flipping. Anyway, those are my 3 favorite techniques for this time of year in between the spawn and the heat of the summer. And if you want to find out more about fishing the Kissimmee Chain, check out this video next. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.